retinopathy can be handled with Ayurvedic medicines. We can handle neuropathy, but when I started doing research on it, all cases of retinopathy, neuropathy, nephropathy used to be sent back from Podar Hospital. Not only from Podar Hospital, my experience with whomsoever I talked, they said we don't touch these patients. They were a kind of untouchables for Ayurveda. Ayurveda was not accepting that as their subject. But now at least we have, in 15 years, we have reached a stage where we say Ayurveda can offer good remedies. May not be 100% pure, but good remedies can give some amount of relief as far as the diabetic complications are concerned. So this is one of the studies where Dr. Sanjay Tamoli was one of the very first students where when he was doing his MD and we started research on diabetic retinopathy and diabetic neuropathy. He selected 60 patients, 30 for neuropathy and 30 for retinopathy. And that again was divided into 50 into placebo and 50 into. So our first query was, does it have effect? Now if you want to really know whether it has some effect, compare it with the placebo. If I had not given this drug, what would have happened? So if I had not given this drug, what would have happened? That placebo will tell you. And what your drug has done, that your drug will be that drug will tell you. Next please. So this, why we were interested into this? Because the life of a diabetic retinopathy patient is a hell. This is the palace that we can see with our eye on the upper one, which is absolutely normal. This is how the kind of plots, as if the ink has been sprayed on the diagram. And this is how the patient of retinopathy will see. And not only this, he can go absolutely blind. I still remember one of my patients who said with your treatment, sir, I was not able to see anything. I was not able to make out the figure also. Now at least I can make out. When I see you, I can see that there is a person standing before me who is tall, but he cannot make out the the properties of the person who stands before him. So at least he could identify that there is an image of this sort. So there is a gross improvement that this Vasant Kusmakar had given. Next please. Now Vasant Kusmakar had a lot of these contents and all my patients received this, and this has undergone a lot of research. Even 180 days chronic toxicity on 2 species of animals on OECD guidelines has been done by Dabur on Vasant Kusmakar. Therefore, we picked it up for the clinical studies, and Dabur was very kind enough. I had no connection with Dabur, but for one of my friends who was appointed in Dabur that time. This is somewhere in, I think, 96, 97 that we did this study. Next please. And this was we took the help of a ophthalmologist who used to take the fundus photographs, and he used to say, right eye had hard exudates, no clinical significant macular edema. And for this, our students made a lot of effort. This student went to the ophthalmologist continuously for a year. He learned the fundoscopy. So he was diagnosing the patients in Podar, referring the patient to the ophthalmologist in his clinic, taking the photographs there, confirming the diagnosis with them, and at the end of the study, getting a report from the ophthalmologist. So this is all. So commitment to research is also one of the very important issues. Next please. This is just nominative, these 2 nominative slides. I know you will not be able to make out anything out of this picture, and I also know that even I will not be able to make out because I have not learned reading of the fundus photographs. Next. Now results in diabetic retinopathy that we have here. In the placebo group, out of the 15 patients, 12 patients showed no change in the status. So 3 months, the patient had no change. So they were stable. And 3 patients, the condition deteriorated. They were not given any treatment because they were receiving a placebo. So the natural consequence of carrying the disease was the progression in disease. Therefore, 3 had deteriorated. In the drug group, out of 15, 2 patients had shown complete reversal. 3 patients showed a marked improvement. 4 patients showed marginal improvement. And ultimately what we noted was 60% patients demonstrated different levels of improvement. That was only about 3 months of treatment. And I'm sure I have not pursued this study to a very long follow-up. Even now I'm doing it for 6 months with one of my PhD students, and it is the same student who is doing his PhD. He is doing it for a 6 month follow-up. But I am sure this Vasant Kusmakar can be taken for a year, 2 years, 3 years. There will be no harm keep checking the renal function test so that people don't blame you for having remained ignorant about the kidney functions. But otherwise the drug can be used, and I am sure these studies we have not yet published. We wanted to publish once we have completed the whole process of research into this. Next please. Now this gave us a little bit of confidence. Why we adopted this? Because once our Shastras, if they are claiming that there is a scope of cure also, they gave the symptoms of cure from diabetes. Why not implement it in the complications of diabetes? Therefore, taking clue from this shlok we attempted. Right? What does this shlok say? This says that Pramerogi, Prameno yada mutram, anavilam apicharam, visharam tektam katukam, tada udyam prachakshati. If the urine of the person has become unturbid, non-slimy, transparent, bitter and pungent in taste, he becomes non-diabetic. He should be taken as cured from diabetes. So our researchers have not ultimately landed up to that endpoint, but I am sure 5 years, 10 years down the lane, we will start doing this as well. Next please. Now there is a need to develop new appropriate research methodology for Ayurvedic research through intense interface between Ayurveda, conventional sciences, modern medicine, advanced researches. So it has to be a collective effort of all these sciences contributing to the development of Ayurveda. So whenever you are doing research, if you can isolatedly do it with Ayurveda, wonderful. If you cannot, you need the assistance, any of these sciences can come to your help. Next. Now, drug that we have in the market today can be classical, proprietary or phytomedicine. So phytomedicine makes it mandatory to have more researches because these are molecules. Now Government of India regulations say that you are allowed hydroalcoholic extracts. Earlier, the kind of preparation that we spoke while discussing the shelf life, those were allowed by the classical literature. But now, even the phytomedicine is a part of the Ayurvedic regulation that Government of India has set in, and the hydroalcoholic extracts, some of the other extracts have also been allowed, but with a strong regulatory guidelines that the safety studies must be done on all those hydroalcoholic extracts, and there have to be clinical studies if they are not hydroalcoholic, if it is beyond that. So gradually the Government of India is accepting in some part the reductionist approach from wholesome to a molecule. That kind of research is happening now. Next please. Now Ayurvedic protocol will essentially need identification of Prakriti, recording characteristics of Nadi. But before we do that, if I am testing Prakriti, Dr. Savarikar is testing Prakriti, Shuklaji is testing Prakriti, or Dr. Bhaskar is testing Prakriti, there has to be some sort of uniformity. The problem is that everybody takes the outcome of Prakriti as different, outcome of Nadi Parikshan as a different end result. If I see Nadi, it becomes Vataj. If you see Nadi, it could be Vatpitaj. The third person sees, he could say it is Vatkafaj or Kappitaj. Now, these variables need to be identified. How can we do away with this sort of, I think it details some of the faculty will definitely discuss about Prakriti also, but we need to do away with these variables. Some consensus needs to be reached on Nadi Parikshan and on Prakriti, and the protocol must handle Ojbal, Agnibal, that the Ayurvedic variables that I brought off. The protocol should be simple, easy to handle, and clarity of vision. Now, if you incorporate all the above, probably the protocol will not remain simple. You will have several variations of protocols. Somebody will only be for Vat Prakriti, somebody will be for different kind of Dhatu Dushti. Some of them will vary with their Oja status. So the protocol, although should remain simple, easy to handle, and clarity of vision and goal. Clarity of vision and goal can remain there, but the protocol will no longer remain simpler. Therefore, the industry research, the sponsored research that happens, that tends to bypass all the above three, because they want simpler methods. Simpler methods are not available when you incorporate all this. Therefore, this is a challenge. Basically, this is one of the scope of research, that you make them simpler. Next, please. Now, I will not discuss this. Probably many of the protocols. Next, please. We can go to the problems. Then we can go. Now, we are coming to the end. This probably is the last slide. This is what I promised you in the beginning, that I am going to tell you how the classical medicines, when I say my Amrutarish is better than only a combination of maybe when you make combined Tribhur Kirti and Sanshamani Gati, and you give that, or maybe Sudarshan Dhanvati and something else. If you make your own combination, probably it's better that I use a classical medicine. The reasons, because the synergy paradigm is there. There is a lot of debate why Ayurvedic text prescribe 50 medicines into one compound. Probably this was the reason. Then safety, possible side effects of the active substance is first. Kashtaushadhi, when you are using in the clinical use, what is the drug, what is the quantum of drug that is prescribed for Kashtaushadhi? It will be 3 to 12 grams, depending on what is the Kashtaushadhi that you are using. But if Kashtaushadhi that you are using, which comprises of 10 ingredients, probably if you want to use 3 grams, each of one of the ingredients will be only 300 milligrams included. So the dose of one single herb will get reduced. That has got dual benefits. One is the side effect of one particular herb will get reduced, if at all it is there. And the world is not going to accept that you are absolutely safe. Nobody is going to accept. Let people, innocent people who say that Ayurvedic drugs are safe, let them say till they keep on saying that, because it is to our benefit. But we understand in our hearts that nothing on the earth is safe. Even a simple guruchi can have toxic effects. So let us be very clear that every herb has got side effects. Therefore, when you are using Kashtaushadhi in combination, you are reducing the individual ingredient that goes into the making of a medicine. So that reduces the chances of a side effect of a particular herb. Second viewpoint is, when you are using 2, 3, 4, 5 herbs, 10 herbs into a compound, probably they are not only summating, it's not a mathematical summation of the total efficacy. It could be exponential increase in the efficacy. We do not know. That was the wisdom that Acharyas had. If, say, the text has combined Trifla, Harad, Veda and Amla, if used alone, Harad is one effect, Veda is 2 effect, Amla is got another 1 effect. So there are 3 points given to the efficacy. But Trifla combined jointly may not have the efficacy of 3. It can have the efficacy of 9. It can have the efficacy of 12. When used in combination, probably they could potentiate to several exponential parts the efficacy of a product. This is what I named this as synergy paradigm, and the efficacy of the medicinal and pharmacological effect is the result of a number of different substances. So the efficacy from different ingredients get added to the product. That is why we have compound formulations given by the classics in Ayurveda. I think you had a very long session. I'm really sorry to the coordinator that I took a lot of time. Thank you very much for all this. Next week. I think that's the last. You know that slide on thank you? There was a